Let's talk some Thanksgiving football next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers, joined by Adam Azer, who's just filling in for everyone this week. He's our strong man of the week. Thanks for filling in for tomorrow's pods as well, Adam. And we're going to talk about the Thursday games. We got 3 games. Thanksgiving, one of the best days of football all year, and we do have some injuries to worry about on Thursday. Obviously, that short turnaround is always a little tricky. And Aaron Jones has been ruled out for the Packers. That means A.J. Dillon is going to get the start. However, I was doing some research today, and I found this fun stat. And I think if you've had A.J. Dillon on your roster any of the past 3 years, you're probably aware of this. But he has actually averaged fewer points per game in the 5 games that Aaron Jones has missed since the start of the 2021 season than the 39 games when Jones has been active. 9.5 PPR points per game in 5 games that Jones has missed over the past 3 seasons, including 3 earlier this year. Are we really starting A.J. Dillon against Detroit?
Not if we can help it. By the way, thank you for calling me a strong man. That is the first time anyone's ever referred to me as that.
Metaphorically.
Yeah, right. Metaphorically and figuratively and literally and all that thing. I am trying to sit A.J. Dillon. I have A.J. Dillon in 2 leagues that are so deep, Scott Fishbowl and a Dynasty League, that I have no choice but to start him, and I'm fine with that. But if you're just starting 2 running backs in a flex, I'm hoping you have better options. Detroit is really, really good against the run, really good per carry. The targets are interesting for A.J. Dillon. He has 13 targets in his last 4 games, and most of that's been with Aaron Jones, who's getting 5-6 targets on a weekly basis lately. So you do figure he's got a chance to get maybe 4 catches. That would be great. That would give him something of a floor. But I don't expect him to run the ball very efficiently. I don't even know if he'll get 3 yards per carry against Detroit. So that probably means he has to score to pay off.
Yeah, and the tough thing, you mentioned the passing game role lately. He had 2 targets in the 3 games Jones missed earlier in the season. So It's not like Jones being out helped him. Obviously we're hoping that can change, and the way they've, kind of adjusted the offense lately to dial up some easier plays for Jordan Love. I just blanked on Jordan Love's name. Dialing up some easier plays has helped, but yeah, I think A.J. Dillon, I think I have him ranked RB28, so if I can avoid him, I'd like to. The problem is, you've got a guy like Brian Robinson, who has been really good the last few games. The passing game role has really helped him. He's always been one of those guys through the first, year and a half of his career where he really only has like one path to a good fantasy game, and that's like 20 carries and a touchdown. But now, I think it's 11 catches over the past 2 games. If that passing game role can be there, it gives him more paths. Tough matchup against the Cowboys. We don't know if Antonio Gibson's going to play. He was limited all week with that toe injury. What are your expectations for Brian Robinson?
Well, I think the expectations change considerably if Antonio Gibson plays, and they are reduced quite a bit, because I don't think he's going to run the ball all that well or all that often against the Dallas Cowboys. The game against the Seahawks was kind of fluky. Last week, however, he benefited from Gibson not being there. If Gibson's out, this team throws more than any team in football, and they throw to their running backs enough. If Gibson's out, Brian Robinson is going to be borderline. I'm not going to call him a must start. I'm not going to be as high. Like Heath and Jamie have him something like 6th or 7th. I wouldn't be that high on him. He'd be more like 14, 15 for me, because the Cowboys, they're very good at time of possession. They don't get a lot of carries against them. The Cowboys have held Barkley twice, the Jets running backs, the Rams running backs, Eckler, Swift, the Panthers running backs, all of them to 10.2 or fewer PPR fantasy points. And I'm supposed to think that Brian Robinson is just better than Barkley and Swift.
Yeah.
That was Breece Hall early. But Austin Eckler, Cowboys are just a really tough matchup, and I could see this game going sideways really early. So I think he's a number 2 running back even without Gibson, and I think he's kind of like a borderline start if Gibson plays.
Yeah, he's RB15 for me if Gibson is out. If Gibson ends up playing, I'd probably, a little higher than Dillon, but similar expectations there. Let's move on to the Seahawks, where it does sound like Geno Smith is expected to play through that elbow injury. Kenneth Walker is doubtful, so expecting Zach Charbonnet to be there. I've got Charbonnet right on the RB2, RB3 borderline. Where would you rank him?
Yeah, I think the same. Ahead of Dillon, behind Brian Robinson if Gibson plays or if Gibson does not play. It's a tough matchup. 49ers run defense hasn't been amazing, but it's been good enough. And then you just have to wonder if he's going to keep the 3rd down role, if they're going to give that to Kenny McIntosh or to DJ Dallas. So I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he has a lot of upside. I think he has a lot of downside. I don't see that big upside for Dylan. You know, he could always fall in the end zone or whatever.
Yeah.
You see it with Charbonnet, but want to be cautious here. Wish, would be nice if I were in a situation where I can sit him. I'm starting 3 guys ahead of him in one league: Kamara, Bijan, and Mostert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Decisions like that where you don't have to stress over Charbonnet.
Yeah, I would start David Montgomery over him. I would start even Javonte Williams with the tough matchup against Cleveland. The workload's been really strong. Devin Singletary if Dameon Pierce is out, but obviously you have to make that decision now, so that's a tough one. And just real quick, how are you handling Lockett and Metcalf in this tough matchup?
The Metcalf's going to play even though he didn't practice all week.
Yeah, he's not listed on the injury report. So
yeah, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because of Geno Smith's elbow or triceps, whatever you want to call it. Short week against the 49ers. I think Metcalf is a number 2-3 receiver, and Lockett is a number 3 receiver, tentatively. I'd start hitting it over. I would probably start Josh Downs. Well, I'm a little concerned about the knee. I can't fully go there.
Yeah. You like the matchup, though.
Love the matchup. Yeah, I wouldn't start like a Chris Godwin over him or something like that, but I would not start Beckham over them, even though I really like Beckham. But I don't have a ton of confidence in.
Yeah, Beckham didn't practice today with the shoulder injury, and the tough thing to keep in mind with Thanksgiving is we're getting all these injury reports on Wednesday. A lot of teams aren't going to practice on Thursday, so we're going to get like estimated injury reports on Thursday. So we won't really know injury updates until Friday. So that's going to make things really tough. Make sure you keep tuned to FFT and 5. Make sure you listen to the full episodes of Fantasy Football Today for more information later on in the week. And happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you tomorrow.